make a really good point, and of course, we have to make the point that paper currency historically has always reverted to its natural value of zero. It always has, and there's no sign of that ever changing. It's just basic mathematics, and it just can't work. And I do want to mention to the viewer that we are experiencing a little bit of choppiness in the connection, but you can't blame us too much. 10 years ago, this would have been a multi-million dollar operation just to get a live stream going. So just bear with us a little bit. But I wanted to ask Anthem because the mainstream media is always claiming the absurd that gold will fall and that somehow gold is bad insurance. It's a pet peeve of anyone who spends a moment researching the history of gold. So for those that don't understand, why does gold preserve so much value and why does doubt still exist after everything we've seen over the years?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the simple answer is that gold can't be recreated by man. Gold can be, re-easily formed. It's very low melting point, which means lower cost energy to remake it. It has a unique color. It's the most malleable of all metals, which means the most bendable without breaking, which, that quality with its color make it, really great wearable jewelry and wearable art, ultimately in jewelry. And so that I think for those reasons, I mean, it's also a high tech metal in the sense of lasers and aerospace because of its properties, and it's also very highly conductive, and it doesn't tarnish like a silver or copper, and so when even though silver and copper have better rates of conductivity, especially relative to scarcity, that the reason why wires are gold plated is because gold doesn't corrode, so or doesn't have that patina. So that's those are kind of the very kind of from scientific to also industrial reasons that because copper, iron, non-ferrous metals, nickel are more abundantly used during economic boom cycles and credit boom cycles, and a lot less used during credit bust cycles. Their price fluctuates a lot more wildly than gold, where the 90% roughly of gold is purchased just for investment and saving store of value purposes. So, and a much smaller percent is purchased for industrial purposes. And so for those reasons, there's a lot more stability in the price because there's a lot more above ground reserve, in terms of its relative value, relative to other stockpiles and their relative value of metal. So, those are the main reasons why gold has been the winner really in terms of the most used form of currency with silver, and silver as well. You can argue silver is good money too. It's just
Yeah.
silver prices or silver relative value has been more in modern times more volatile than
Mhm.
gold has to other commodities and materials and services.
Yeah, silver has fluctuated wildly over the years. However, of course, it has always kept a preserved value. And I always make the point that in the 1910s, people were getting a silver coin an hour, which would be worth to around 15 to 16 to $17 an hour today. And that's real preservation of value. And I think that should stand, people should understand how important that is. And when people are yelling about their minimum wage hike, they should really consider the money more over than the regulations. There's an answer to everything, and we need to pay attention. And why do you think, though, that there's so much doubt still regarding gold and silver, for that matter? I mean, it's
Well,
it's really annoying watching people in the mainstream media try and argue with you about gold when you have the history in your hands.
I think that it's more and more at risk. And by the way, I do like silver. I mean, even more than gold right now. I mean, I think on a relative basis, I mean, the ratio is about 80 to 1, so just a little below that. But I really like silver a lot. I think it's because the more you have to lose, the more you fight for what, lose. And I think, I mean, the biggest banks' balance sheets are bigger, by what I've at least 30 some odd percent than they were back in early 2008. And so I think that's one of the biggest reasons, Josh, is that it just the more you have to lose, the more kind of frantic the situation becomes. And so I think that that's the reality. I mean, I think there's a reason why Bitcoin got adopted, and there's a reason why financial technology is so popular right now, and it's need based. This is other business service, right? The more of a need that there is, then the more demand, you're going to start seeing supply solutions. So in Anthem Vault, our team is super excited and honored to help provide humanity and our clients, individual clients at Anthem Vault, our service. So, we accept Bitcoin, we accept wires, we accept direct debits. So, we have a Amagi Metals site that, it was one of the leaders, one of the first coin dropship companies out there to accept Bitcoin. So for coins in your hands, for people that want some in your home safe, Amagi Metals is great. And so, yeah, I mean, that's cool, just to try to provide people with that they can trust and innovation. So, and keep making the metal more accessible to possible, so everyone can enjoy the best value that they can do the most with, and not have it just restricted to a very small elite percentage of people globally.